Hey there, sexy souls. Sorry. Had some difficulty when I started to originally record this. I just chose to start over so that there would be seamless continuity, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, welcome. Welcome to Weird and Woo Woo. FYI, everything you need to know about the channel is in its title. Weird and Woo Woo. Weird, not to be mistaken for fascism, like Tim Walz tried to make it out to be. I really wish he had not used the term weird, because there's a lot of us neurodivergents and everything else that like to use the word weird because it's a good thing. It means something good. It doesn't mean fascism. He was calling fascists weird. And I'm like, Anyways, so I feel like for the next little bit, I'm going to have to always clarify that shit. Anywho's, welcome. I'm going to be pulling a reading today. We're focusing on the remainder of the year. FYI, I'm going to do several of these. Yes, I could do a pick a card. However, that takes extra time since I'm recording on my phone. At this point in time, I am at least. Doing the editing, I'm just not going to do all of that. So I'm going to do multiple readings, probably about 5 or 6, for the various different collectives that I read for that will be moving towards. Okay. From now to the end of the year, basically. All right. So on that note, friendly little reminder, you are the sovereign being over your life, which means you get to determine if, how, when, where, why any of these messages might apply. So around here, we don't send all the shit to make it fit. Okay. All right. So I'm going to dip into this and just kind of give you the gist of what I had already read. And fair warning, there is a collective that the end of the remainder of the year is a transition period with a lot of really positive developments that are happening. And they said it's also, because some people kind of like, oh, a transition, like there's an adjustment period. Okay, might be a better term. But transition, because it's both. There's a transition happening and a bit of an adjustment on your part, because things have kind of been going one way and now things are going to be starting going a different trajectory. And so you can kind of expect things to be moving fast, during this time frame. So we started out with a patience card because they're kind of like, and I got to tell you, when I started doing the reading, I promise you, I was doing my little intention and prayer, and I was opening up my crown, and within a minute my eyes just started hurting. The light was killing me. I got on to the previous reading and I was like, oh my god, the light, somebody might have light sensitivity. I don't understand what this is. It just came out of nowhere. Neurodivergence might be having blah blah blah, because I didn't know it was part of the reading at first. But I gotta tell you, this reading started off saying, hey, you're about to get out of darkness and walk into the light. Meaning, again, that spotlight's about to be on you. You're about to be seen, perceived. You're going to be getting attention as a result. Whatever it is, there's no hiding, right? And I think that there's something coming your way, because this is also asking you to make sure that you're fully on display. And that you're not hiding any aspect of yourself. Easiest way I could explain this was, imagine someone wanting to have a new job, being really ready for it, feeling kind of like energetically prepared. And you might have like done your resume up and everything else like that. But you chose not to put that you were open to positions because you didn't want your current employer to see. And they're like, now's the time to change that. You want to change that to open because you want yourself to be out there completely, because there's a need for that. And the Witch's Moon talks about, I'll get back up to here. It talks about your skill sets, your magic being in the forefront and on full freaking display, being used to its fullest degree. That is no hiding. And that goes along with the heart healing. Mourning now has had its time. Your time in the darkness is kaput. It's done. It's over with. Do not pay it a single dime. Emerge from the darkness. A new day starts. Let light embrace the healing heart. And so that's where, and several of these talk about the light. Everything soon will come to light. And I was like, oh gosh, like they're warning you. I feel like this is more of like a heads up. Things are about to, especially if you felt like things were disconnected and stagnant, and or they're like, nobody puts baby in the corner. You know, like you just felt like you could be in the center of a room and nobody would notice you. Like that's about to change. It's that energy of life just happening all around you, and you're witnessing it, but nothing's witnessing you. Like it's almost like that idea of being hidden in plain sight. It has that energy to it. And this is saying something needs to come out. So it's like a recruiter that has like the best position for you, that you'd fit like a glove with, and you would love, and you've not clicked that little button that you're open to new roles, you're open to positions. You didn't do that. You didn't go that degree. It's still hiding you. It's still keeping you in the dark. It's still obscuring you and not putting your skills on full display. And so that could pass you by. So this idea that if you're not stepping fully out, something is coming for you, coming into your life. And if you don't, then it might not see you, right? So a reminder for even the most hopeless of lost cases, you can find peace within the strangest of places. And the idea is something's coming from a place you did not expect. It's like, I would have never thought from there. I'd have never thought like, and that is the reason, because you can't rely on you finding it. It needs to find you, whatever it is. And so you need to be full front and center. With that, with you stepping back into the light, there is going to be an adjustment period, okay? It's like in the morning, like when you've been sleeping in a really, really dark room, and your parental figure comes in and flips the light, and it's like blinding. It's uncomfortable at first. It is. It's uncomfortable. It gives you but you adjust quickly, okay? You will adjust quickly. It's not that, it's just, I feel like whatever is happening for the remainder of the year, you will have some physiological, they're giving me biological, physiological transformation happening, an adjustment period. So you're going to have to adjust. Like, for some, like, you know, when you suddenly open, because I was opening up my crown to the energies and asking for things to flow freely, unobstructed, blah, 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 kind of thing. And you take on a lot of that energy. So let's say something good happens and you're really enthusiastic, and it's like, you know what it's like when you've been sick and you've been kind of like, ugh, and all of a sudden you get that pep. I mean, we always tell our little kids to be careful, right? Because as soon as they come back, they're like, yeah, and they get all excited, and it's like, because they've been down for a while, or because they've been dormant, it's like you can run through the energy quick. So there's an adjustment to the amount of energy that you're going to be processing, that's going to be happening around you. Like, even though it's exciting, you haven't been this excited, motivated, or driven in quite some time, and you'll find yourself being a bit worn down, is what I want to say. Quicker. It's like, wow, I'm really happy. Why don't I have the energy for this? It's like, you'll adjust quickly. Don't worry. But there is going to be an adjustment period. Now, for others, it may happen differently, but that's the gist of where it was kind of like the light and everything else like that. And, you know, and then it talks about, I think that don't pay it a single dime, emerge from the darkness, because there was a reason that you were there. And maybe a reason might be knowing that when you step fully out, things will be facing, like it's almost like somebody who hides, like, you know, okay, now they're giving me a lot of kid stuff. So your inner child might be a major factor in all of this. So, you know, when you're a little kid and you were in the dark space, you couldn't quite see what was happening. Something you felt, your bed moved, you heard a door creak, you know, whatever, and you like whoosh, covers over the head. And like you don't want to move. You're like, no, I'm safe as long as I'm under here. You might have went into the darkness for safety. And you may not want to come out from under the covers because you fear that the exact reason you went into that under the covers is still there. And so basically it's kind of like whatever led you to this darkness, to this hidden aspect, to this, to a space of being hidden and being kind of like unseen or undetectable for some, that's what they're saying. You may fear it might still be there when you come back out. And they're just saying, emerge from the darkness, a new day starts. Because whatever led you in there, the reason for that has had its time. Let light embrace the healing heart. And so I feel like there's a little bit of bravery coming out from underneath the covers, right? Because you feel the adjustment period. As the transition is happening, you're having to adjust as well. And that's a lot of energy. That's a lot of change, but you'll do it quickly. And you may fear what you might encounter as a result. And I can completely understand that. And that's the reason why Bless This Space is coming out. Your sacred space holds the soul to bear. You need to feel safe when you come out. Palos down to our stage will clear the air. There's definitely something that you need to clear. Okay? We have Nightshade and Fly by Night. When I tell you Nightshade, same as yesterday's reading for this week. So I think I'm tapping back into the collective that this week ahead is for, where it's like you need to be wary of the people that come in. Because when you emerge and things are highlighted on you, you have gone through what you've gone through as a discernment process. The days of seeing a red flag and giving the benefit of the doubt, or feeling off or uneasy about something, but, you know, I call it logicizing it away. I make up words. You know, being logical about it and being dismissive of those things. And then in the end, paying the price for that, right? So I'm going to read to you from Nightshade really quick because it was really good. I was like, oh, this is for these people. And it really, it is hitting on even friends. So really quick, Nightshade flowers at night where few can see. And this card could represent someone who is kind to your face but secretly works against you when your back is turned. Someone who has a hidden agenda. The card reminds you to be cautious. Someone could be trying to sabotage your life, your relationships, or your career success. Look for signs of envy, jealousy, and resentment in the behavior of those around you. Know that if they are speaking badly against someone else, big clue, big effing clue. If they are talking badly against someone else, they are probably speaking against you too, behind your back. Now, with this, they gave me, it feels like somebody who would present things in a way where it's like, I just need a confidant. I just need someone to speak on. I don't really like to do this. You know, they're the victim in the situation, or they're like, I just need your guidance. Like, am I wrong on the, you know, that kind of shit. And they always have a way of talking it like, that is a red flag. That right there. And I feel like saying, even for some of your friends, if you've ever been like, dang, like if you took pride in being the safe space for someone else to pull that shit because you felt like they were trying to improve and evolve as a person, newsflash, this person is not. This person is just seeking permission to, one, feel like the victim in situations and to badmouth other people. Okay? Do not be a safe space for that. Because you need a safe space for you to bear your soul. And these individuals will not be. Now, this card does talk about future, and I just felt like that was a very specific scenario that's going to be a clue for somebody. That does not mean that it's everybody, because this card really does talk about, like, people from the past emerging forward, right? It does say that when this card comes up, it's wise to be on your guard, assess all situations and relationships carefully, be wary of any new people who come into your life at this time. They may not be all that they seem, so the presentation is going to be good, which means you really need to tap into your instinct, your intuition, those feelings, those things that you, again, like I said, you pick up on, but you'll just like, you dismiss. Don't dismiss them. Believe a person when they tell you they are the first time, okay? It's when we talk about this being because Witch's Moon is also about you doing your part, because it does mention a manifestation is coming up. That's why your magic and your skill sets and all of you need to be on full frontal display. It talks about you playing a part in this manifestation, though, and doing what you need to do on your end. It's a collaborative effort for this manifestation to come in. That's why you got to be on full alert and full display. So Spirit can't do everything it's like even moths are attracted to a flame, right? Like Spirit cannot do everything. You need to be an active participant in securing your sacred space for your own mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, and safety, okay? That's what they're asking of you. Let me go back to this and let me finish this. Nightshade is asking you to protect and remove yourself from such people and situations and remain watchful and on your guard against these toxic individuals that you have identified. While fake shady friendships might be no more than a flash in the pan, envy and resentment festers for a long time. So be prepared to defend your own interests. So while this is like, it's not even important to you, and maybe there's certain people that are no longer in your life, like yesterday, those people will resent you for getting good and for getting what you want and for doing well. Okay? It also talks about, and I just want to tell you, also be aware that just because someone has been a friend for years doesn't mean that they are trustworthy in all things, okay? And then it does say, this is especially likely to be the case if Toad or Fly-by-Night are also present in the spread. So Fly-by-Night is kind of like a fair weather person, all right? And it's your job. This is not to fearmonger, because Spirit would not be saying you're ready to step into the light if you weren't ready to fend these people off and create this sacred space for yourself in the light. Okay? Let's move on to the waxing crescent. I know this is a lot of information I had to restart for, and I was like, I'm putting this out there because this is what's happening. So even though I feel like that actually gets started this week, and it's fitting that I touch on this for the remainder of the year to let you know that whatever happens this week is kind of like, it's that. So the crescent moon is a card of movement. It's a path being smoothed out before you. And I feel like that's going to trigger somebody. Like things coming easy all of a sudden for you. Yeah. And it may start to feel like heaven and earth are being moved in your favor. Things will begin to fall into place quite naturally, and it's safe to let this happen. So that's the safe aspect. The good shit happening and this path being cleared for you and your forward movement, let it, okay? Don't let the fear of what that might attract deter you from moving forward, okay? Spirit asks that you believe that things are changing for the better. And they acknowledge that change can be unsettling. And then again, can provoke physiological responses. They want to reassure you that this is a positive one, okay? And again, for the second time, they're asking you to take some kind of positive action towards this rather than just, which is putting everything on full display so that you can meet this head on. Although you might not be able to see the clear path ahead, just doing a few things, right, positive for yourself can help the overall manifestation process, is what they're saying. Okay? But just know, this is the card of serendipity and change, and you will begin to see signs, all right, in your reality of this change happening. And then moon dreaming. Okay, so this is really going to tap into you asking you to really listen to your intuition, to acknowledge the visions that you get, and to pay attention to your dreams, okay? So this card comes up, and it's acting as a prompt to alert you to take more notice of your dreams because a special psychic message is about to come through. Watch out for signs. I just said that. Watch out for signs, symbols, and messages in your daily life too, as these are also psychic messages that will come to you in a more mundane way. And so they're like, you need to kind of take note of all of these things. Write them down. Be aware that this is the universe trying to breadcrumb you and give you all of this like guidance along the way. Okay. So pay attention to all of that. All right. Now we're going to pull a couple of cards to kind of like, so this is what's happening for the remainder of the year. And it's exceptionally important to pay attention to this. We're going to get some more details that might benefit you to know ahead of time as you're walking this path and this transition and this adjustment, okay? Yeah. This transition is one that I feel like Starman Tarot is leading the way on. Like damn near every single day, it hollers for me to pull it. It feels the most fitting for this. So I feel the need to say, if you happen to watch other readings, whether it's on this platform or another one, that they're giving me, it may behoove you to pay attention to who uses this deck. Like if there's one, because a lot of people don't. Like, and even the people who have the Starman Tarot, they pull it out very randomly and sporadically, and it's not very frequent. It's not one of their more frequently used ones. And so there's very few of us that use it very consistently. And so I would say that there's something there where you might want to give it a second look, is what I would say. Obviously, your own discernment. I'm not going to sit there and tell you every single reading that has a sentence. That's what I'm saying. But it may give you reason to pause and wait to see if something's for you, because there might be a message in there. There might be a message. I think that's a hint. Remember, Spirit's going to be giving you hints and things like that. That's one. Okay. All right, Spirits, tell us about the remainder of the year for this collective. Wow. Oh, Eight of Cups. Eight of Swords. You have been waiting to move beyond. Eight of Cups talks about leaving what you thought was for you or something that was beneficial and helpful to you at one point, because these cups are full. And the Eight of Cups, at one point, all of these cups had something in it for you, but they no longer have anything in it for you. And it's time to move on. And that's where you find your Nine of Cups, your true, genuine wish fulfillment, your sincere desires, personal contentment and happiness, the things that will really satiate you. And so, but you've been holding back. Oh, son of a biscuit. Hold on. Woo! That was a strong one. I'm trying to recover from a sneeze. You've been holding back. You have held back, despite spirit around here trying to coax you out, trying to tell you it's time. And I feel like this is self-imposed entrapment. You have kind of, something has stopped you from walking away and moving forward, stepping into the light. And so you may have had to, it may be due to some deep-seated fears that you have. I also get a sense of like not 100% seeing something clearly. And they're like, and so you think that's the reason you need to stay put. You're like, I don't have anywhere to go. I don't know how to move forward. The very first step is allowing attention to come your way. The spotlight. Like, they're telling me, you're telling yourself, I do put myself out there. They're like, find the one way in which you don't. And that's the one they're talking about. So if you're like, I'm out in community all the time, I'm connecting with people, I'm da-da-da, that's not what they're talking about then. There's another way that you are hiding still yet in the darkness. And that you have yet to fully step into your uniqueness, your power, your magic, your gifts, your skill sets. There's still yet a way that you have not. And it is there, you are afraid of the adjustment to it or some type of repercussion. I feel like this is the collective where I'm like, you don't want to have to deal with the negative whatevers from somebody if you do this. So it's kind of like, I don't want to deal with people's shit. Right? Or, you know what? When I have been that way in my life, nothing good came from it. I had to deal with a lot of shit. Or maybe you were just like, you know what? For somebody, this is about connecting with other people, like honestly, really relying on somebody and being hyper independent, because even friendships, because that whole ex-friend energy is kind of like, no, you need to move forward. I also feel like you have been little bit at a time doing this. So maybe instead of jumping into the lake, like I talked about, where there's a shock to the system, you've been trying to kind of like, it's like, okay, so now there are a lot of analogies today. They're showing me like a Band-Aid on the skin, and you know how like you're like, and you're getting little bits and pieces of it off because it hurts. It's like if you would just rip it off, it'd be good. And Spirit's like, okay, look, you're prolonging this process. It's time to rip the Band-Aid off. Just do it. Adjustment will be quick. You'll be fine. You got this. Because this feels like not just deep-seated fears, but it's like easing into something. It's almost like they're like, if you have to, ease into it, and maybe putting yourself back out there, like the idea of, I tweaked my resume and I prepared all these things, and it's like you were kind of easing your way into it. You've been dipping your toe, basically. And Spirit's like, time to rip the Band-Aid off, time to jump in, plunge into the water, time to whatever, step full on into the light. Okay? Because this is full emergence right here. It's time for the full emergence. It's time to really leave this behind. Leave the darkness behind. Leave the thing that gives you comfort and keeps you hidden. And then, and of course, strength card. It will take initially some strength. It's kind of like you grin and bear it for a little bit. When you're about to rip that Band-Aid off, it's just like, just do it, rip it off, just do it. You know, you might wince when the light is turned on, but you're not going to adjust, and you're not going to get the day going and move into the new dawn if you don't turn that frickin' light on. The light has to come in. You can't keep staying in the dark and be like, okay, well, I'll just navigate. You can't. There is no adjusting to the freezing, frigid waters if you don't jump in. And so Spirit is like, we've given you the opportunity to kind of like emerge slowly. And now's the time. Now is the time to step into the full light. All right. You're just going to have faith or courage that you have the ability to manage any of these negative toxic situations or people. Queen of Cups. Seven of Cups. I got this, is what that is. Like, you have to be in the space to be so secure within your knowingness, within your resiliency and your intuition, that not having a clear picture doesn't deter you. Let's talk a little bit about how can we help them find the area that they're still hiding in, because I feel like they are in like analysis paralysis over themselves a little bit, which only adds to the fear, adds to the confusion, adds to no, don't turn the light on, not yet, give me just a minute. They don't want the spotlight on them just yet because they're still trying to figure it out. They're still trying to step into something. Okay, so how do we determine, like, I think they're really trying, I feel like this collective is really trying to convince themselves, I'm not hiding anywhere. Something else outside of me is holding me back. You know, something to that effect. And it's like, no, there's something that you're doing. There's an aspect of the self that you are not putting on full display. It could be your spirituality. It could be a talent of yours that you still, you pretend. Again, it's the toe in the water thing. Where you're like, well, I put it over here. Well, did you put it on all 20 platforms so that everybody could see it? Do you put yourself in front of everything? It's the resume thing. Well, I tweaked this. I did this. Are you reaching out to recruiters? Are you doing this? You haven't fully. So where is the area? That's what we want to look for, Spirit. Where is the area in which they're still trying to hide? I'm going to pull a couple of tarot, and then we're going to go to the Sacred Path Oracle, and then we're going to leave it at that. I'm just trying to give you the opportunity to call you out on that. I do feel like Spirit's like, you know, quit trying to play. But I do also feel like somebody is really good at talking themselves out of, okay? Hence why it's like, that's why it's so easy for you to talk yourself out of when it comes to other people, you know, and you kind of like pretending that you don't see something. Four of Cups. For someone, okay, for someone, this may be, because this is the cut of, in this particular deck, it talks about blended pleasures, right? And it's about combining. Now, normally on the Four of Cups, somebody's staring at the Three Cups and like, I fucking will not partake. I will sit my happy ass down. I'm not happy with this. I am going to remove myself, whatever it is. Again, the darkness. From all of that. It could be just society in general. Like, I don't want those 3 cups. I'm going to wait for the proverbial cup in the sky. I'm waiting for whatever. I will not. And it's like, like you don't want to combine the two. Okay? Because whatever this proverbial cup from the sky is, it requires you to take the other 3 cups with you. It's not, I'm just going to walk over here with this 1 cup that Spirit gave me. Somehow, the next step blends something together. And sometimes I feel like saying an existing, maybe it's an existing skill set that you don't want to merge into a new skill set that you've learned. Maybe it's, I'd have to take a little bit of the old to go with the new. And again, you know, like I always tell any child that I work with, you take the good and you leave the rest. Like when we were talking about their parents, it's like, you don't have to be them. They don't have to be perfect for you to be able to see value. Like sometimes they encounter individuals that are so terrible in one way, but why are these other good things? I was like, then that's when you take the good. You look at what is right and true for you, and you go, you know what? I agree with this. That I do want to be. I'm going to take that with me. I like that value, but this shit, no, I don't like. Like you get to choose, right? And there's just something about, there's a merging. And this could be an opportunity coming from a space that's in your past. And so you think, I want I want any movement forward to be completely clean of anything from my past. And it's like, not everything in your past was wrong or bad or not good for you. And so, you know, sometimes we will move into new spaces and think, I don't want anybody from my old spaces to see me. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want anything to do with it. There's blendedness here. And so there's just something about, I either don't want to go back to that. I don't want to incorporate something in with this new thing. And it has something to do with your visibility. That is an area somebody can look at. Hopefully that makes sense. 3 of Wands. Give me just a moment. Definitely for somebody out there, it's the idea of something having to be combined with something else. You know, here's the thing. It's kind of like this they're giving me. It's like, you know, I know that there's a lot of LGBTQ people, and myself included, where it was always easier to tell a stranger than it was anybody I really knew within my personal life. Because with a stranger, it's a declaration, and I don't give a shit. I don't feel obligated or give a shit to explain anything to you. You're not entitled to my emotional or mental energies. I don't have to, like, you know. But, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, if I were to express something like that to somebody that was already existing within my circle, it either felt more dangerous or more laborious, almost like I didn't want them involved. But this is combining, like when you finally live your life, everybody's going to know. So I just want to put that, when you are out full frontal, you know what I mean? And to get what you really want, that 9 of Cups. There's no more curtailing, hiding. Well, just this little, like, there's something that gets blended here. It's going to be, you know what I mean? 3 of Wands is, I know that's normally the ships coming in. The patience that you have to watch something come in. And I feel like saying, there's something about the efforts you've put in for somebody else. The area where you stay hidden is wanting to curtail where you receive something from. That could be combined with having, you know, like somebody from the past giving you something, but also I just feel like, yes, I want this, but not from, yes, I want this, but da-da-da. Like, or it's the willingness to receive something, to allow it to come in. I want a little bit more on the 3 of Wands. Where is this particular area where you're having a difficult time? This truly is staying hidden because you're afraid to receive from a negative source again. You're afraid to be open and let something come in from a negative source or to have negative energies attached to it. If I were to combine all of this, I'm concerned about blending something old with something new because I'm afraid that it will tie me to whatever comes in will then tie me to some old negative pattern. And I want a fresh, clean break. So that is something that I would say is, if you're like confused as to where. And let's point blank, it's the idea of trying to hide something from your current boss while trying to find something from the new. And it's like, maybe it's time for things to be seen in the clear light of day. We have the Sun, Page of Wands. Yep. It's only when things are in the clear light of day, when you are, it is the Witch's Moon. I am in full sight, 100%, that something can be offered and brought in that is in perfect alignment for you. Whether it be love, a connection. Maybe it's, I don't want to reach out to past contacts because there's things about my current situation I don't want them to know about. And it's like, you have to be willing to be seen or risk being seen. You know, maybe you're embarrassed because you attempted, like, you don't want to, like, you've been in the darkness, you've been in hermit mode. I don't want people to know what's been going on in my life. And inevitably, if I reach out to my old network and connections to try and form and forge a new path, they're going to pry. They're going to want to know. And I don't want them to know. Right? I went through this a little bit, like going without a traditional job for a period of time, because traditional in the sense of like the 9 to 5, you know, working for someone else kind of thing. Because I went through a lot taking care of my father and then the aftermath of that. And I feel like it's nobody's business. And so my cover letters wouldn't put it on there. And it's like, you need to put it all out there and be willing to be seen. You know what I'm saying? Because more people are probably willing to respond to that. So This can be simple and it can be complex in what it is that you're still hiding, but you're still hiding to a certain degree. You're still in the darkness, and you're like trying to tiptoe into it, and they're like, it's time. Rip the Band-Aid off. It's time. Okay. We're going to do Sacred Path Oracle, and then we will be done. I do hope that this is beneficial for whoever it is that this message is for, and helps through the transition and the adjustment period of this. Introspection and goals. All right, guys. I tell you, I know a lot. You hear a lot of shit, don't you? Let's just do this. If the West Shield has appeared in your spread, Bear is asking you to look at your present goals and discern how they affect your future. Are there answers you seek from your own inner knowing? If not, it may be time to enter the silence and digest the questions so that your personal answers can emerge. Bear also reminds us that the West Shield is a place of all tomorrows. If you are afraid of the unknown, it may be time to clear away the fear. Strength to accomplish this clearing is Bear's greatest medicine. Call on Bear and feel the courage to meet the future. Hold on. Call on Bear and feel the courage to meet the future. Fill your spirit. I don't understand that sentence. In all cases, the West Shield speaks of the ability to complete our goals, the acknowledgement of our inner strengths, and the power to find and know our own answers. Remember that the opinions of others become mixed with your own doubts and become limitations when we forget to enter the silence. It may be time to clear away the fear of entering into the unknown. And to accomplish this clearing is the greatest medicine you could have. You have to clear this fear, and any individuals that try to come in and as a result add to. Again, you can overcome whatever put you into the darkness to begin with. Whatever had you fall back and hide. Because the time is now. All right. Hope you have a fantastic and wonderful day. I will see you guys later this week.